There we go. Hello again. This is John Hauser from Free Advice. Welcome to my channel. My channel is Free Advice from 76 years. I will be 76 this year, and over the years I have been observing a lot of different things. And one of the things that I have observed recently is the trend for young people to get into trades instead of going to college. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Just a few days ago, I met a very nice young man who was transferred into this area. He's a welder, a specialized type of welder. Now, I don't know a lot about welding, but from conversations I've had, I understand there's all these different levels and grades of people that do welding, and welding with aluminum and welding with steel. And apparently this young man was very proficient at his trade. He had been transferred into this area to work on the building of a pharmaceutical plant. And I asked him, I says, well, I don't know much about welding. Tell me, how does it pay? Does it pay pretty good? And he started by telling me that he was getting $142 a day per diem living cost, which that comes out to be $4,260 a month. Now that's just living cost. I thought, wow, that's pretty good. Then he was telling me how much he was getting an hour and how much he was getting in overtime. And after he explained all that to me, I calculated up that this young man is probably making somewhere between $13,000 to $15,000 a month, depending on overtime, and probably making somewhere between $125,000 to $150,000 or more per year. I asked him if he liked his work. He said yes, he really enjoyed it. And I said, are you satisfied with this? And he said yes. He says, I've got a long-term career in this work. And he says, my company pays me well. They'll send me to different places. And again, he gave me some indications on the benefits that he was getting and the amount of money he was making. So what I'm trying to say is, here's a young man that went to welding school, learned how to become a welder and get all these different certifications, and is probably making more money than most attorneys and probably making more money than a lot of doctors. Now, I know there are a lot of attorneys that make big money, and there's a lot of doctors that make money, and I know that school teachers do relatively well. But what I wanted to share was that there is a tremendous opportunity in the trades for someone who doesn't mind working with their hands to make a really good living and have a very good career. So I just want you to take that thought and think about that. If you're thinking about going to college, if you're thinking about changing jobs, I was going to also tell you, before I forget, I was going to tell you about a young man that I know that went to one of these trade schools to learn how to work on Lexus and Toyotas. And now he makes over $2,500 per week as a Lexus mechanic. Now think about that. That's $2,500 a week. That's about $10,000 a month, if I'm not mistaken. Plus, he gets all kinds of other benefits. Plus, he gets a car to drive because he's been with them a while and he has moved up. So what I'm trying to say is, consider a trade school. Consider getting into a trade, learning a trade, and becoming proficient in that trade, and establish yourself a very good career. Now, one of the things that I did when I was going along was, yes, I have some college, but it wasn't really cutting it. I learned the sales profession, and I became a sales contractor, and did very, very well. So going to college is not necessarily the answer. Going to college will teach you how to study, but if you go to a trade school and learn a good trade and become very, very proficient at it, you can make a very good living. So this is John Hauser with Free Advice from 76 years saying, hope you find a good trade to get into.